Assalamu alaikum. This is Swarup Mazumder welcoming you to the English News Bulletin from Bangladesh Television Chattogram Centre. Let's begin with the headlines. Bangladesh been able to accelerate economic growth as government working sincerely, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in her valedictory speech at Parliament. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina leaves for New York tomorrow to attend United Nations General Assembly, where the Premier to highlight vaccine equality, Rohingya and climate issues. Making falsehood regularly becomes BNP's habit, comments Awami League General Secretary Ubaidul Qadir. Government has taken all necessary steps to improve the living standards of journalists, said Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. Corona claims 51 in the country with 2 deaths in Chattogram as global death toll crosses 4.67 million. Australia, UK and US launch new security pact sharing advanced defense technologies to counter China. Those were the headlines. Now on to the details. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said government is working not only for conventional development but also for building a developed Bangladesh with modern technology. The Prime Minister said this in her valedictory speech at the 14th session of the 11th Parliament this afternoon. Highlighting the country's progress in the overall field, the leader of the House said Bangladesh has been able to accelerate the economic growth as the government worked sincerely for the well-being of the people. The 14th session of the 11th Parliament began on the 1st of September.
আমাদের লক্ষ্য বাংলাদেশকে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যাওয়া। সেই জন্য আমরা যেমন আশু করণীয় মধ্যমেয়াদী দীর্ঘমেয়াদী পরিকল্পনা নেই এবং সেই দিকে লক্ষ্য রেখেই আমরা যেমন 2008-এ 2021-কে আমরা নির্দিষ্ট করে প্রেক্ষিত পরিকল্পনা করেছিলাম। এখন 21 থেকে 2041 এই 2041-এ বাংলাদেশ কেমন হবে আমরা সেই পরিকল্পনাটাও কিন্তু প্রণয়ন করেছি। শুধু এখানেই থামি নাই, 41 পরে 2100 সালের এই বদ্বীপটা প্রজন্মের পর প্রজন্মের জন্য কীভাবে উন্নত হবে সেই পরিকল্পনাটাও কিন্তু আমরা ডেল্টা প্ল্যান 2100 করে দিয়েছি। যেদিন কেউ বাঁচে না হয়তো আমরা থাকবো না, তারপরেও আমাদের প্রচেষ্টা হচ্ছে স্বাস্থ্যসেবা জনগণের দোরগোড়ায় পৌঁছে দেওয়া, শিক্ষা যেন প্রতিটি মানুষ ঘরে ঘরে পায় তার ব্যবস্থা নেওয়া এবং বাংলাদেশে একটি মানুষও গৃহহীন থাকবে না, এটাই আমাদের সিদ্ধান্ত, যেটা জাতির পিতা বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিব শুরু করেছিলেন স্বাধীনতার পর গুচ্ছ গ্রাম নির্মাণের মধ্য দিয়ে। এবং তারই পদাঙ্ক অনুসরণ করে গুচ্ছ গ্রাম, আদর্শ গ্রাম, তারপরে আশ্রয়ায়ন প্রকল্প এর মাধ্যমে আমরা গৃহহীন মানুষকে ঘর করে দিচ্ছি।
The bill on the special provisions to run rental power plants for 5 years more has been passed in the House today. The law was introduced a decade ago to fulfill the demand of power on an emergency basis. State Minister for Power Nuzrul Hamid moved the bill titled Power and Energy Quick Supply Increase Special Provision Amendment Bill 2021 and was passed in voice votes. Nuzrul Hamid said the bill was introduced in order to ensure uninterrupted power supply. Earlier, the session of the Jatiya সংসদ began with the Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhary in the chair. Meanwhile, a new bill with provisions to provide information from the National Archives in exchange for specific fees has been passed in the House. State Minister for Cultural Affairs K.M. Khalid moved the bill titled Bangladesh National Archives Bill 2021. The State Minister for Cultural Affairs said personal records aged 30 years or above on historical, social, political or cultural values can be stored in the archives. Besides, Foreign Minister placed Territorial Waters and Maritime Zones Amendment Bill 2021 and it was forwarded to the Standing Committee concerned for a report after scrutiny. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is scheduled to leave Dhaka tomorrow on official visit to attend the United Nations General Assembly in New York and other engagements with a stopover in Helsinki, Finland. Foreign Minister A.K. Abdul Momen said this at a press conference at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs today. A.K. Abdul Momen said this is Prime Minister's first foreign trip after the corona situation. He said Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina will urge the UN General Assembly to ensure a balanced distribution of the corona vaccine. She will also seek cooperation in tackling the risks of climate change and resolving the Rohingya crisis, he added. The Prime Minister will also hold separate meetings with the Presidents of Maldives and Vietnam, the President of the EU and the Secretary General of the United Nations and will address the United Nations in Bangla on September 24th. Awami League General Secretary Wadul Qadir has said it is BNP's habit to present false statement regularly. He made the remarks while briefing journalists from the official residence in the capital today. Wadul Qadir termed BNP's allegations against the government as fictitious and mere repetition as usual. He said government has no interference in the judiciary system and the government of Sheikh Hasina does not believe in repression as well.
আওয়াজে পরিণত করা সরকারের বিরুদ্ধে বিএনপির অভিযোগ কল্পিত এবং বরাবরের মতো চর্বিত চর্বণ। সরকারের আচরণে নাকি বিএনপি নেতাদের মনে হয় এদের স্বাধীন রাষ্ট্র নয় মগের মূল্য। বিএনপি যে আগুন সন্ত্রাস চালিয়ে জীবন্ত মানুষ দগ্ধ করেছিল, গান পাউডার দিয়ে গাড়ি পুড়িয়েছিল, ভূমি অফিস পুড়িয়েছিল, রাজনৈতিক কর্মসূচির নামে নৈরাজ্য সৃষ্টি করেছিল, তখন মগের মূল্য কি মনে হয়নি? রাজনীতিকে রাজনীতিবিদদের কাছে কঠিন করে দেওয়া হবে এ প্রত্যয় নিয়েই তো বিএনপি দেশের রাজনীতিকে দূষিত করার কাজ শুরু করেছিল। রাজনীতিতে স্বার্থের অনুপ্রবেশ এবং সুবিধাবাদ চর্চা শুরু করেছিল তারাই। বাংলাদেশ আওয়ামী লীগ তৃণমূল থেকে গড়ে ওঠা রাজনৈতিক দল, নেতাদের সম্মান আওয়ামী লীগ দিতেই জানে, যাদের রাজনীতি জনগণ নির্ভর নয়, যারা নিজেরা নিজেদের সম্মান রাখতে জানে না, তাদেরকে কে সম্মান করবে?
Information and Broadcasting Minister, also Awami League Joint General Secretary Dr. Hassan Mahmood has said the government has taken all necessary steps to improve the living standards of journalists. He was speaking as the chief guest at the annual general meeting 2021 of Dhaka Union of Journalists DUJ at the National Press Club Auditorium today. The minister said freedom practiced by the media in Bangladesh is not available in many developed countries of the world.
যে মানুষগুলো স্বপ্ন দেখতেও ভয় পায় সেই মানুষ যেন স্বপ্ন দেখে, সেজন্য সাংবাদিকের প্রধান লেখনীর প্রয়োজন আছে। কিন্তু টেলিভিশনের ক্ষেত্রে অনেক, সব ক্ষেত্রে বলবো না, কোনো কোনো ক্ষেত্রে দেখা যায় সেটি করতে গিয়ে অনেকের পার্সোনাল যে সিক্রেসি সেটাকে ইনভেড করা হয়। আমাদের দেশে যেভাবে গণমাধ্যম স্বাধীনভাবে কাজ করছে, আমি মনে করি একটি বহুমাত্রিক সমাজ ব্যবস্থার বিকাশের জন্য গণমাধ্যমের স্বাধীনতা অপরিহার্য। আমাদের দেশে গণমাধ্যম স্বাধীনভাবে কাজ করছে বিধায় আমাদের দেশে যে কেউ যে কোনো কিছু করে পার পেতে পারে না। সে হয়তো অনেক সময় আইনের ফাঁক দিয়ে সে পার পেয়ে যায়, কিংবা অনেক সময় যে সংস্থাগুলো তার বিরুদ্ধে ব্যবস্থা নেওয়ার জন্য যাদের দায়িত্ব তাদেরকেও নানাভাবে ম্যানেজ করে পার পেয়ে যায়, কিন্তু যখন সেটি পত্রপত্রিকায় প্রকাশিত হয় জনগণের কাছে পার পায় না, জনগণের কাছে সে অপরাধী হিসাবে চিহ্নিত হয়। সেটি অনেক দেশে হয় না। তবে এটিও মাথায় রাখতে হবে, আমার স্বাধীনতা যেন অপরের স্বাধীনতাকে খর্ব না করে।
It was also addressed by President of National Press Club Farida Yasmin, eminent journalist Munzirul Ahsan Bulbul, President of Dhaka Union of Journalists Kuddul Afrad and General Secretary Shajjat Alam Khan Topi. "51 COVID-19 patients died in the country, taking the number of death toll from the pandemic to 27,109. The recovery count rose to 14,94,090 after another 3,549 recovered during the period. The tally of the infections rose to 15,38,203 with 1,862 new cases being confirmed. Today, the detection rate was 5.98% in contrast to the sample tested. Meanwhile, 2 persons died from coronavirus in Chattogram during the last 24 hours, taking the number of death toll to 1,279. With this, total number of corona patients in Chattogram has stood at 1,01,131. COVID-19 global death toll crossed 46,75,000 and over 22,73,37,000 people infected globally. Besides, more than 20,40,30,000 people have recovered from the virus so far. US has now over 4,24,79,000 confirmed cases and 6,85,000 deaths. India has now more than 3,33,47,000 confirmed cases and over 4,43,000 deaths. Now, international news. Australia, the United States, and the United Kingdom have announced a new trilateral special security pact to share advanced defense technologies in an effort to counter China. The partnership will enable Australia to build nuclear-powered submarines for the first time. The pact, to be known as AUKUS, will also cover artificial intelligence, quantum technologies and cyber security. In a joint statement, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison and his UK counterpart Boris Johnson and US President Joe Biden said this capability will promote stability in the Indo-Pacific and will be deployed in support of their shared values and interests. Members of the UN Security Council have gathered behind closed doors for an emergency meeting about North Korea's latest ballistic missile test, which member states consider a major threat. Agency reports say there was consensus among the group to condemn the test, which was conducted by North Korea. Earlier, South Korea and Japan detected the launch of 2 ballistic missiles from North Korea just days after it tested a long-range cruise missile. The two Koreas have been in an increasingly heated arms race, with both sides unveiling more capable missiles and other weapons. The head of Islamic State in the Greater Sahara, Adnan Abu Walid al-Sahrawi, has been killed in an operation by French troops. The jihadist leader was behind the killing of French aid workers in 2020 and was also wanted by the United States over a deadly 2017 attack on US troops in Niger. However, Islamic State in the Greater Sahara is blamed for most of the jihadist attacks in the Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso region. Earlier, the United States had offered a $5 million reward for information on the whereabouts of Sahrawi. Back to national news. State Minister for Women and Children Affairs Fazilatun Nisa Indira has distributed certificates among the trainees who completed the sewing, embroidery and computer training courses organized by the Khagrachari district branch of Jatiyo Mohila Sangshtha at Khagrachari yesterday. State Minister called upon the trainees to work diligently by utilizing the knowledge gained from the training. Bashanti Chakma MP, Chairman of Jatiyo Mohila Sangshtha, Chairman Ara Tayyab, Secretary to the Ministry of Women and Children Affairs Muhammad Saidul Islam, Director General of Women's Department Ram Chandra Dash, Director General of Bangladesh Shishu Academy Jyotilal Kuri were present on the occasion. Earlier, the State Minister inaugurated a fair for women entrepreneurs. An action plan for improved waste management services for the entire Chattogram city has been formulated through IT app Bulletin, led by Chattogram City Corporation with the financial support of water and sanitation for the urban poor. A workshop has been organized for sharing this action plan with the concerned stakeholders at City Corporation office today. Mayor of Chattogram City Corporation M. Rizal Karim Chaudhary was the chief guest. Chief Executive Officer of City Corporation Shahidul Alam presided over the program, where Buet Professor Ashraf Ali presented the action plan. Chattogram Custom House has auctioned 93 lots of goods, including 10 Japanese cars of different models. Apart from cars, the products auctioned today include textile chemicals, machineries, laboratory products, dates, fabrics, shoes and more. The auction was conducted by Messrs. KM Corporation, a government auction house. Authorities said if the goods imported at the port are not unloaded in time, they are auctioned off after a certain time. Now news on share market. The prices on the Chattogram Stock Exchange have risen, and the price index of CSE 30 has also increased. At the end of the day, the overall index stood at 21,141.35, which is 0.66% higher than that of the previous day. Besides, the price index of CSE 30 stands at 15,461.41, which is 0.61% higher than that of the previous day. Today, a total of 2,45,89,384 shares of 316 companies were traded, the value of which is more than 84,17,49,000 taka. Of them, share of 109 companies increased, 184 reduced, and 23 remained unchanged. Now weather news. Sky will remain partly cloudy to temporary overcast, with light to moderate rain accompanied by gusty wind is likely to occur at many places over the area of Chattogram and neighborhood till 6 p.m. tomorrow. Bolting Office says night and day temperature may remain nearly unchanged over the area. The highest temperature in the city today was 33.5 degrees Celsius, which is 1.9 degrees Celsius above the normal temperature, and the lowest temperature was 26.2 degrees Celsius, which is 1.1 degrees Celsius above the normal temperature. In Chattogram, tomorrow the sun will rise at 5:40 a.m. and will set at 5:54 p.m. Now the tide schedule of Konofulu River tomorrow. First high tide will start at 4:33 a.m. First low tide will start at 10:46 a.m. Second high tide will start at 5:24 p.m. and second low tide will start at 11:31 p.m. That's all from the newsroom. To end the bulletin, a recap of the headlines. Bangladesh been able to accelerate economic growth as government working sincerely, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in her valedictory speech at Parliament. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina leaves for New York tomorrow to attend United Nations General Assembly, where the Premier to highlight vaccine equality, Rohingya and climate issues. Making falsehood regularly becomes BNP's habit, comments Awami League General Secretary Wadul Qadir. Government has taken all necessary steps to improve the living standards of journalists, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. Corona claims 51 in the country with 2 deaths in Chattogram as global death toll crosses 4.67 million. Australia, UK and US launch new security pact, sharing advanced defense technologies to counter China. Thanks to all for being with us. We invite you to watch our tomorrow's bulletin at the same time. Maintain the health rules and stay safe. Khuda Hafiz.